Hello. Okay, so let me start off by saying that I've got a beautiful assistant, but she couldn't come tonight, so Vicky's going to help me with the slides. Well, she was going to help me with the slides, probably, isn't it? So actually, Vicky did a brilliant job of the slides. I'm dreadful at PowerPoint, so getting someone else to do it was brilliant. Okay, so do you want to click? Right, so just like last time, stop me saying anything stupid like on a script. It's only a short script this time. So, welcome to the Norfolk Developers Room 101. Following the success of the software discussion panel last year, tonight we're going to try a software-related Room 101 based on the TV show. Anyone not seen it?
New version or old version?
This is Frank.
No versions?
It's clearly the new Frank Skinner version. Okay, and 3 contestants will take part in 3 software-themed rounds and offer the aspects of software development that they would like to consign to Room 101. At the end of each round, I, with the help of the audience, will decide which contestants' suggestions to put into Room 101. Unlike the TV show, we're hoping to get lots of audience participation. Okay?
Unlike the TV show, we weren't all millionaires before we started.
We won't be millionaires afterwards. Okay, on my panel tonight, with the jokes already, we've got Adam Wilson. Adam Wilson works for himself at Spotted Paint. He's one of Norfolk's most prolific tech event attendees, along with Chris Yallett.
I'm second to him.
No. You two are very definitely ahead of me. And says the most exciting thing about him is that the NSA don't read his emails. Please welcome Adam. Okay, Tim Stephenson in the middle there. Wave, Tim. Tim is head of IT at local car sharing company LiveShare, which is where we're holding our pre-conference meeting. So everyone looking.
The office with the slide in case you might have heard.
Slide. Dom and I regularly lunch with Tim. Sorry, Vicky, where I frequently remind him how happy I am that he took Vicky off my hands at Aviva. The most surprising thing about Tim is that when he's not involved in IT, he's often found behind the camera as a pro photographer or playing something musical.
Well, good to Paul.
So, because as of about, I don't know, midday today, I didn't have anything surprising about Tim. So I'd made up that he came from deepest, darkest Peru and he likes marmalade sandwiches. But that didn't fly. Okay, well, you're all welcome, Tim. Okay, and then at the end is Chris Holden. Chris Holden is a software engineer at local company Validus. I hired him there what feels like an age ago. Chris is here in place of his wife, who I now work with at Aviva, as she got cold feet. It's a double shame, as Chris's wife is much better looking. Chris says the most surprising thing about him is that he's learned to ride a unicycle. Did you bring the unicycle?
No.
Okay. And what was the other surprising thing about you?
I'm a master of disguise.
That was it, you're a master of disguise. So will you please welcome Chris? Can you have the next slide, please, Vicky? Okay, so this is brilliant because Vicky came up with this one on her own. These are other things that have gone into Room 101. Eminently sexist, because I don't think we can really put men into Room 101, not tonight anyway. The Magic Roundabout, France. Is it Hello magazine that went into Room 101, or is that Sheryl Crow? Cole? Sheryl Crow. Oh yeah, Sheryl Crow's the other one. And Indian. Okay.
It's the YMCA.
Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, so tonight, the 3 rounds will be language and process and the wildcard. And in the wildcard round, the members of the panel have chosen something of their own, any aspect of software engineering that they would like to put into Room 101. Okay, so first up, oh sorry,
That's when you mentioned it.
this is when I meant to introduce everybody. Do you want to do it again? Okay, so next slide please, Vicky. So, first up tonight is Tim with Microsoft's classic ASP and VB script. Would you like to tell us why you'd like it to go into Room 101?
How long does this need to be? Has anyone here worked with classic ASP? Good. Does anyone here like classic ASP? Well, good stop here, actually. Classic's been around for, what, 17 odd years, something in that ballpark. It came out with Windows NT4. So for those who have been in IT for a while, you've probably met NT4. That says it all about classic ASP. People still use it today, amazingly. Most of LiveShare, ironically, is still in classic. Although we are actively doing something about that. As I say, I have yet to meet anybody who likes it or who thinks it's a good product. You need a hell of a lot of code to get anywhere with it. It doesn't work across multiple servers. I mean, the list sort of goes on, really. So all in all, summing that up, I would like to see the back of it because it gives a good excuse to finally ditch it. We were most disappointed to see that Windows 2012 still actually works with Classic ASP. We were hoping that might have been the end of an era, but apparently not. So all in all, drawing a line under it would be good. And as I'm running out of things to say, I'll probably do. So vote for Classic ASP.
Would anyone like to say anything in defence of Classic ASP?
We've got VB script on there as well. And the world's financial institutions actually run on VB script.
That
running
is
in
true.
Massive Excel spreadsheets.
Absolutely.
You can destroy the economy.
I thought they already had destroyed the economy with their Excel spreadsheet.
But who here would like to see the back of Excel worksheets full of VB script and functions?
I earned a lot of money on that.
Yeah, you, me both, and quite a few other colleagues, but hey. Let's go again.
Okay, so nobody's speaking in favour of Classic ASP other than Dom.
Oh, I'm calling it VB script.
VB
Classic ASP, no.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, next slide, please, Vicky. So, Adam, why would you like to put XML in room 101?
It's not very well argued, but I hate it. I kind of do my best to avoid it, and under any circumstances. And when you do JavaScripts, you just go, please just give me a JSON, please just give me a JSON. And they go to an XML, no. And it's just so enterprising and it's massive. And I don't know whether things are going to be an attribute or a node. And I have to parse it. It takes me forever to parse it. And I have to use libraries to do it, which is just painful. And it's just like, oh, this is so much work. I just want the data. Give me the data. Give me an array. Anything. Just not XML. I can use it, but I just don't want to. It's just too much hassle. I know in other languages, maybe it's a sort of first-class citizen, but in the languages I use or have used, it's not easy. PHP does use it and can use it. Does it great? You can if you're say list use it, but I just don't. And people use it for configuration, which is right, little scripts, or maybe you could do it like that. There are better choices, obviously. But also, I've seen it used for databases instead of a database. Have a massive XML file. It's like, well, that's just abuse. You shouldn't do that. And it's just, yeah. Then you have to do transforms on it. And I talked to Chris about this, and he was saying about how he bought the XML books because XML was going to be the thing, and it wasn't. So they're Necroston too. So
Okay, thank you, Adam. Would anybody like to speak in favour of XML?
How do you think those VB scripts form to the outside?
I was just thinking trying to write a Maven script in JSON. That might be difficult.
There must be an alternative. There must be an alternative.
Well, if Russell was here, he'd say Groovy, wouldn't he? Or Gradle, or something like that. Okay, I think we can get two things into room 101, because the third thing definitely isn't going in.
Just on XML.
Given a choice between an Excel worksheet full of data or an XML file full of data, which would you go for?
I'd be opening an open office and having neither of them would work. And it's closed.
All Word documents are XML as well.
That's
You take apart a Word document, a zip file, it's just, you can't find the content. Diversion.
Just can't you get an Excel file and generate XML from it? You get XML file, Excel file, then you easy way.
Isn't that purgatory?
Probably.
It's waiting for you.
Have you ever worked at Aviva? Okay, so anyone want to speak about XML favourably? No? I quite like it when I'm programming Ant or using Ant or making. Okay, all right, shall we move on to the next one then? Okay, brilliant. I'm not even sure I should bother giving Chris the mic. There are a few things that I love in this world, and Java is one of them, so perhaps I can just move swiftly on.
Thank you very much. Has anyone heard of Java? One person. So we'll have to skip. You can explain to everyone what it is. But it purports to be an object-oriented language. There's 4 basic tenets of object orientation. A good logo. two other things, and polymorphism. Polymorphism is very important. Polymorphism can be broken down into two areas, but one of them is overloading of methods. So there's only 4 things you need to be in OO language. Polymorphism is one of them. Generics has come along. Generics are all very nice. Good, really lets us do great stuff, gets rid of casting and all the rest of it. Breaks polymorphism in Java. Well done, really good. Type erasure is what we're talking about. So as a language, you can use it, and but if you want to use all of the goodness of generics, then one quarter of OO is gone to you. So not very impressive. And also we could talk about class loaders as well, and how, yes, at compile time it will check against the library that you've chosen, but beyond that you've got absolutely no guarantee at runtime that that's the library that you'll be getting out of Java. So just a couple of thoughts. I think I've basically had as much time as anyone else.
Anybody else seeing Dexter?
What can I say? I don't come across any of those problems. Okay, so would anybody like to speak in defence of Java? Hey, go on, Matt.
Well, no, it's actually more of a question. Can we put Java in, but keep the JVM?
Yeah, I'd go for that.
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
in that case,
Okay, so there's 3 choices. Next slide, please, Vicky. What are we going to put in Room 101? Shall we put Microsoft ASP, or shall we put XML in Room 101? Sorry. Okay, so votes for XML.
Can we vote for all of them?
Useful assistant, can you count? Okay, votes for ASP. Oh, that's good.
You've all got 2 hands, remember. All of a sudden.
11.
Okay, votes for Java. I don't believe it. I really thought Java would end up in Room 101, so I didn't hear how many there were for XML. Oh, right, okay, cool. So we're putting ASP in Room 101. Next slide, please, beautiful assistant. Okay, round 2 is programming. No, it's not. It's practices, sorry.
Process.
I've got practices written down here.
I just slide.
I thought I
I
decided to
chose
get.
process.
Okay. We're going for process. Okay, so we start with Chris. And another one of the things that I truly love, pair programming.
You can't really do that thing.
Was it? Did I choose pair programming? Oh yeah, pair programming. Yes. So pair programming, presumably everyone's pretty much, the name sort of says most of it. There's lots of other language around it. So you've got the observer and the driver. Pretty few people know that when I hear keywords is shysterism. The whole thing is shysterism basically. But there's been studies done on pair programming, and it turns out that if you've got one person programming and another person looking over their shoulder and telling them where they've done things wrong, you get code written a little bit faster. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? Use 2 people's time, and you get code written a little bit faster. Marvellous, absolutely fantastic. There's other studies that say 15% less bugs in your code, maybe. But also, there's studies that I'm making most of this up. Basically, they don't know that, do they? There's also studies that show that this is true, that because 2 people involved, no one really feels like they own the code. So there's this sort of suggestion that the people just whack through the code. I don't have to worry too much because he's going to maintain it, and vice versa. But yeah, basically, the best case scenario is you get code a little bit faster. That's if you use your 2 best programmers. If you use a good programmer and a novice programmer, there's absolutely no benefit at all. So yeah, use 2 people's time, get things done a little tiny bit faster.
So I'm guessing you're soon moving to management. Okay, so why wouldn't you put a novice programmer and an experienced programmer together? Doesn't the novice get to learn?
Not necessarily, according to the study. So what you tend to get is watch the master, and depending on how good your master programmer is, don't touch the keyboard, don't touch anything, sit back here where I can't see you, and off we go. That's how I do it. But
okay. Cool.
Question.
Yes.
Are you throwing just formal pair programming in there, or is it also where you've spent some 15 minutes, two guys,
if someone says,
as opposed
that's
to
what.
come and help me with this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, remember, what's the disguise?
I've not thought of it yet. It's
He's actually his wife.
I thought some glasses were part of the disguise you weren't wearing those in the last round.
move on.
Sorry, right, so would anybody like to talk in defence of pair programming? Okay, who here's done pair programming? Ben, what do you like about it?
Nice strategy.
Absolutely nothing.
Somebody put their hand up.
And Dom?
Are you saying that code reviewing then is bad? Because pair programming comes out extreme programming, doesn't it? Where you turn dials into 10, and the dial in test pair programming is code reviewing. Which turns up to 10 becomes pair programming. So are we saying code reviews are bad?
No, I think you're widening my scope, and I need all the help I can get. So please be quiet.
Pair programming was championed a lot by ThoughtWorks. ThoughtWorks brought us a lot of good things, and it means they could charge double for their contracts by bringing twice as many developers in. So there you go. Pair programming paid for ThoughtWorks stuff.
Okay.
I've actually seen two bad programmers become one decent one.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. There's not been many studies on that.
See, I've seen two bad programmers become two decent ones with constant berating.
Berating.
I have got one thing. What happens when the person who has spent the past 3 months alone on this one piece of code suddenly gets hit by a bus, and there's nobody who understands what the hell he was thinking, and there's no access to the drug cities and
Documentation, maybe?
Usually have a bad
If that's the choice, then let's keep pair programming. I'm sorry.
So quite frankly, you shouldn't get into that position anyway, Matt, should you? 'Cause- yeah.
That's part of Agile, shouldn't it?
So you have good code that's expressive and it's clear what you're doing. You write the odd comment if it's absolutely necessary. Who said documentation?
You did, didn't you?
You've worked with me long enough to know I don't like documentation. Okay, shall we, sorry, Wayne?
It's just a continuation of what Adam said actually. Just realised that Kirsty was talking about. So it's somebody who's very good.
Are they here tonight?
But no. It's somebody, for example, who is very good but is not particularly motivated. And somebody who is not very good but is very motivated. It works very well because it sort of shows the other person to sort of get them together and work really quickly. So if you prepare that combination up for long enough, you can then slip the other person away and sort of still not very constructive. So I've definitely seen that.
Only high motivated learners.
Yeah, I'd like to see the job advert. One rubbish programmer and one with very low motivation.
You can also do things like stand up in the morning just to say, man, listen, you've done it.
Or Pomodoro's.
Or some basic code shadowing. If somebody sat there beavering away, have somebody shadow. That kind of solves the problem without the formalities. I'm supporting you now, shut up.
What he said. That's one of my points.
I just flagging noted that I dial everything up to 11.
Yes.
Is 10 just not enough?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, if it's extreme, Matt, it's got to be 11. Okay, any more for any more? Cool. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, so Tim is now going to tell us why he wants to put waterfall project management into Room 101.
Surely it's the time to engineer. Waterfall. Probably has a place somewhere. I have yet to work out what that is. Sorry? Aviva, possibly? No. Some people do like it. I don't really know why. How many businesses these days can sit around for months waiting for a specification to be written, or analysis to complete or whatever it might be, and not have the requirements change in the interim. But I don't know, I'll get to work on it. So all in all, kill off waterfall, get rid of it, move on to any agile method, pick whatever flavour works. Pick, there's loads of them out there, don't all fit, some might not. Basically, bin waterfall, bin the processes, and move on to a fresh world with some agility. It's got rid of waterfalls. I don't need to preach because I'm sure you guys probably hopefully support this. They're there.
So I probably ought to readdress the balance and just point out that Aviva does do agile. Isn't that right, Steve?
I've heard those rumours too.
Sorry?
I've heard those rumours too.
Well, they have Scrum Masters. Okay, so would anybody... Sorry, say again.
Moving on.
Moving on, yeah, quite. Okay, so would anybody like to talk in defence of waterfall? Come on, there must be somebody that likes waterfall. Oh, Chris.
I don't know, I'm just thinking, what about things like building rocket ships or spaceships? I don't know, you have to get it all designed.
Oh, you're going to set them off now.
Torn pieces the code for Ariane.
Yeah, they tend to blow up when they go wrong, so.
Sorry?
They tend to go horribly wrong when they go wrong. You can't kind
Challenging ones.
of reboot it or whatever. But, I don't know, I suppose if you're building something that you've built a lot of times before, or if it's standard, or if you have a well-defined problem that's not going to change, then maybe waterfall's the right way. But that doesn't tend to happen in commercial settings. So, based on when you take the choice, I suppose.
What if you take the waterfall and run it over a very short time period?
That's technically
Over and over again.
You're sort of diluting waterfall a little bit there.
Is that a pun? Diluting waterfall.
No, I'm not entirely unrelated to guns, but
So nobody wants to speak in defence of waterfall other than rockets, which blow up anyway despite the fact they use waterfall. So the Ariane example, the Dom gave, and the British Mars rover, they all failed, mostly because they weren't even tested, I think, wasn't it? They found software problems.
Ariane, open code wasn't tested, and I think actually they were trying to be agile with doing code reviews. So this is the Ariane 4 code before what the Ariane 5 got.
Cool. Okay, shall we move on then? So, Adam, why would you like to get rid of emails without subjects?
I had a client who used to send me lots of emails, and he'd send me, one day he sent me 22 emails in a day, and they didn't really have subjects, or they didn't have any subjects at all. So it was like he was emailing me at the speed of thought, which meant that he'd email me in the morning at 9 o'clock, then he'd email me at 12 o'clock, then he'd email me at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'd be like 6 hours behind. So I'd start reading the 9 o'clock one, start doing that, and then read the later one and find that that contradicted the first one, and then read the third one and then found that contradicted the first one, and in some way I was meant to read another email from 3 days ago which didn't have a subject either, but it was actually going to tell me what happened, what was meant to happen. It got quite frustrating, and it's just, but I think people think that you're only working on their one thing, and you know, because they're interested in their project, that's the only thing you're ever thinking about. So they refer you to emails. You can't search for a subject, and it's just massively frustrating. It just seems unnecessary. But I think I'd vote for waterfall. If I can put estimation in as well.
yeah, cool.
Does anybody like sending emails without subjects?
I've got loads of people who do that to me.
Yeah.
If you have a decent email client running on perhaps a proper operating system, where you've got find rather than search, and there's a reason why they call it find, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, I can search.
No, find rather than search. On Outlook you can search an email sort of, on Mac you can just actually find an email and they're all threaded and it's all very nice.
It's because they also reply to it, so you get read.
Just forward it back to them so they get forward email.
So obviously the first thing we'll do in the morning is send Adam an email thanking him for appearing. No subject. Okay, wonderful. Right, okay, so can we have the next slide please, Vicky? Brilliant. So let's have a vote for pair programming. Who would like to put pair programming into Room 101? Is that 3? Yeah. Okay.
No, 4 actually. We're counting the Callum as well.
Oh, okay.
I did last time.
Who would like to put the wrong page.
Waterfall.
Who would like to put waterfall into room 101?
Everyone.
Okay, and who would like to put emails without subjects into room 101? 2. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next slide, please, Vicky. So we're now into the wildcard round, so this is where the panel can choose anything at all from the world of software engineering to put into room 101. And we're starting with Adam. Oh, sorry, why would you like to put arrogant programmers into room 101?
Because they just all deserve to die. Bit tired now. Yeah, no, it's just, you get people who come up to you and say, oh, everything, you should all be using X, Y, Z technology, and doing this and doing that. And they have no idea what your problem, what the domain of your problem is. But, obviously you should be using, I don't know, Java. I don't know if Java's good or not. But, you should be using this technology, and it's just so idiot-proof. And you get the people who just 100% believe in something, and which is just stupid, because nothing is 100% true. Everything has some sort of variation, and you can always learn more. I think that's the thing as well, always means that they believe something so utterly that they can't take on new information. And I think as a developer, the best bit about it is that you're constantly learning new things. I mean, I learn new stuff every day, possibly because I should know more stuff. But that's the interest and the development of it. And if you're that sort of self-believing and that sort of arrogant to start with, you're never going to get anywhere. Because, I think development is actually makes me feel quite humble sometimes. Because it's you against the computer, which is like this 100% logical beast. And your mere human mind can't, you're translating real world stuff into computer speak. And I just don't think there's any place for somebody who's that arrogant in that situation. But it's just me.
Okay, thank you. Right, so would anybody like to vouch for arrogant programmers? Does anybody know any arrogant programmers? Are there any?
Sorry, I don't think there's anyone an arrogant programmer.
Are there any in the room tonight other than Dom? And having worked with some of you, I can.
Why aren't you all using Ruby? Come on.
Because it's not threaded.
Oh.
Isn't that a good enough reason?
It's 2.1, I'm sure.
Okay. In that case, Vicky, can I have the next slide, please? So, Chris, why would you like to put non-technical managers into room 101? Is there a... There we go. Does anyone else get paranoid?
I just want to say first that I think Adam's having a really cathartic experience. All of his items have been really sort of heartfelt, and I suspect he'll leave here just a much happier person. So
I'll be much happier tomorrow. You'll all be bored out of your mind in the meantime, but I'll be much happier.
Can you get my email?
Yeah.
Was there a subject?
Yeah, no.
What was looking at? What does it say? Proud technical manager? Is that unrelated? Oh, yeah, proud. Okay, yeah, fine. So technical managers, non-technical managers. I don't really, hopefully, really don't have to say anything about them. You get a problem. You have to explain why what's happened is a problem. You then have to explain the number of different solutions you have to solve the problem. You then have to explain which is the best of those solutions, and then the non-technical manager will say to you, I think you should probably do that. Crazy non-technical managers. That's my sort of heartfelt one. You notice I chose really hard things for the other two, and these two have just chosen email and waterfall, like anyone's going to argue with that. But yeah, so that was my easy one, hopefully.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Hang on, never got that far yet. Get back one. Does anybody like non-technical managers?
I've got a question first. Why are you being so specific? Why the first two words?
Fair point.
Okay, seriously for a moment. Has anybody found project where a non-technical manager has been quite useful, you know, talking to the business or something like that, or been very hands-off and really quite helpful? Yeah. Would anybody like to venture a story or an opinion? Expert users.
You've had someone in a role that's moved up from the bottom of the chain of the company, that's worked in the department, got the knowledge and experience, and can educate in one person potentially a very large chunk of the system. So technics, a great person to go to sometimes. I will agree that not everyone is very good at managing people, and they may be promoted to a position where they're incompetent, but they sometimes are a wealth of knowledge.
Would they be better though if they were also technical? That the person that you described, if they'd come through the business and were technical as well.
They would probably be better if they were applying that experience and knowledge to a job role one step down from where they are, but actually doing something practical and useful. But yeah, that's a fine argument.
Don't you find a little bit of knowledge though is a dangerous thing? Yeah.
From my point of view, if my CEO had any technical knowledge whatsoever, half the stuff I got past him, I wouldn't have got past him.
Can I just remind you this is being recorded?
Yes.
Can I remind you I'm doing the editing?
That's not a very moral. That's not a moral argument, is it? We should. That's struck off the record, I think.
I like it when somebody knows a little bit and then extrapolates from that massively. Like me going to the garage and talking about cars. The garage man just massively intimidating. But they tell you this one bit they've learned. I don't know. I get it about SEO. And people say, "Oh, what if my site is, I don't know, in pink? Then I'll be top of Google." No. But this is one bit of information they know, and they just stretch it out. It's tremendously entertaining.
People cling to what they know, like Java, for example. Okay, any more? Oh, yep. Sorry, I forgot your name. Chris.
I was on a project and this guy had a ton of domain knowledge, so it was really useful asking about specific reasons.
Kind of like an arrogant manager. Okay, shall we move on? Oh, sorry, Matt.
I was just going to say, it does sound like what you're really wanting to put into Room 101 isn't necessarily non-technical managers, but non-technical managers that don't know that they're non-technical managers.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so non-technical managers that defer the decisions to their team who actually have the technical knowledge to determine it.
No, you're trying. I think you're trying to help me, but no, just non-technical managers in general.
Okay, shall we move on? So, Vicky and I went to Ipswich last Thursday to talk to Ipswich about the conference, and they were all really keen to hear about it. They were really enthusiastic. And we sold 4 tickets after. Great. And we went to talk to a guy called Jason Firth, who is a SharePoint expert. And I tried to get him to come along tonight, but unfortunately he wasn't available. So,
An interesting discussion.
Well, yeah, exactly. So I think Tim's probably going to get off lightly, but here we go.
We'll see. Does anyone here make a living out of using SharePoint or sort of consultative work for SharePoint? Or I kind of start? No, good. Okay. I've seen SharePoint used in many places, many roles, ranging from trying to deliver corporate websites through to document management. It's good at some of them, it's horrendous at others. Somebody once tried to sell me a nice enterprise SharePoint installed for a website, which had content on it, a couple of forms, maybe a bit of process. And I seem to recall the meeting took about 3 hours, during which they presented all these good reasons why it was the thing to have. Turns out there was a bill at the end of it for a month's worth of work, and probably about a 9-month-long project, 30 servers to deliver it. It was horrendous. That's probably get to the price tag.
You need BizTalk to do something else, and something else to bolt on to that. Anyways, I think we ended up building it in WordPress in about a week. There you go. It's one of these tools that kind of sets out to do everything and doesn't really do any of it particularly well or at all. So I quite like the back of it. I've used it too many times, so I would never like to use it again. End of story, really. Anybody like it? Deathly silence.
You said it was good at some things.
A few pages served by Microsoft as a reporting tool, possibly. I think it's the only occasion it might have worked.
Then it costs a lot of money to do that.
You can get away with SharePoint Foundation, whatever the free version's called, but anything other than that, they're more expensive very, very quickly. And God help me if you want to use it externally on our website. But anyways, so that's me. Please have SharePoint. I like the back of it. That's all.
Would anybody like to speak up for SharePoint? I can see at least 2 people from here who use it every day. No? All right, okay, well, shall we move?
You always install it just so you can uninstall it again. That's nice.
And rebuild Windows afterwards just to be on the safe side.
No, it might be pushing to start again. Rebuilding doesn't work.
Okay, shall we move to the vote? So who would like to put arrogant programmers into room 101? That's interesting, Steve. Ah. Okay, so who would like to put non-technical managers into room 101? Okay, and who would like to put SharePoint into room 101? Non-technical managers. Okay, so before I give the results, I'd like to thank my panel. I would also like to point out that I'm deeply disappointed that no one wanted to put PHP or singletons into room 101.
I like PHP.
Yeah, I know. So
I'm a PHP developer. I'm proud.
those Chris, as I learned last time.
I kind of feel like when I say I'm a PHP developer, it's like saying I'm an alcoholic.
Another cathartic exercise.
Except you can stop drinking, it's difficult to stop doing PHP. Okay, so we have a winner. So in third place, with nothing in room 101, I'm afraid is Adam. In second place, with one thing in room 101, is Chris. But our winner tonight is Tim from LiftShare, with 2 things in room 101. Thank you very much.
What's the prize?
Oh, there is a prize.
Is it worthwhile? Oh, bribery.
Did everybody have a good time? Oh, there you go. There's a good prize. Satisfied crowd.
Cool. Well, thank you for being satisfied.